Oh yeah, Vivek, make sure you're a spectator.
Thanks for reminding me.
Hey guys, we're back for another season of Division 1. I'm joined by my friend Vivek, and hopefully we can help provide a good commentary experience for the Division 1 this season.
Yeah, thanks for having me back for another season. Really looking forward to it.
I think we're just waiting on a few drivers still yet to join the lobby, but we do have 15 right now, so hopefully we can get some track action very soon. Of course, round 2 around France this time around, so different circuit to what we had in Bahrain, but let's see which drivers can maximize their weekend this weekend tonight.
And it's good to see so many new faces and names in the division this season. And let's hope to have a nice close championship battle, a nice clean championship battle.
Yep, of course, last race out in Bahrain, Tesla and Lumi, the Ferrari pair, getting a 1-2 with Damien in the AlphaTauri coming third. So both Italian teams, Ferrari and AlphaTauri, doing pretty well last round in Bahrain. I'm just going to run you through the rest of the championship right now. So we have Polorius in 4th, Davey in 5th, Desi in 6th, Stephen in 7th, DXNI in 8th, Harry in 9th, Shabby in 10th, Geordie in 11th, Benza 12th, Jensen 13th, Enzo 14th. I'm not sure how to say that guy's name. I'm not going to try, but in 16th we have Coyote, 17th Serpino, 18th Bobo, 19th Flynn, and 20th Cayano. I'm not sure how to say his name, but Cayano. So yeah, that's the standings after the first round, as we do have a few drivers on track. Of course, we have a few reserves. I'll point this out now. Tim, Wickra, and I think there's one more reserve. I'm not 100% sure, but we do have around, I think, 3 reserves here tonight.
Yeah, a few guys on their outlaps now. Once again, as we always say, track limits is going to be quite an important thing around qualifying here today.
Exactly, France is quite brutal when it comes to track limits, especially because every lap you're going to have to try and push the limit just to get the time out, which does mean flirting with the outside lines of the track.
Already got a yellow flag in sector 3. I don't think it's too much of an issue because it's just gone away.
Let's see if we have anyone. I think we do have a Williams actually about to start a lap. Yes, we do. No, we don't. Hang on. Apologies.
I think we've just got Tim in the Aston Martin just starting his flying lap now, I believe.
Yep, Tim in the Aston Martin just freshly competed in Division 3 actually, and coming back for redemption in Division 1 as a reserve. So getting a lot of France racing around in him tonight, as we'll actually ride on board with Bobo.
A bit wide there, Tim, on his first flying lap.
.21.9 for Bobo in the first sector, a pretty decent first sector, especially with a green track. Let's see how he goes down the main straight into the left-right chicane in the middle of the straight. Ooh, as he's just invalidated on the inside there, so unlucky for him. I think definitely just trying to get himself into the track. Let's see who else is on a lap right now. We have Marley, who also just competed in Division 3, racing again tonight for us in the Haas.
The other guy who was on a flying lap at the start, Tim in the Aston Martin, has also invalidated his time as he goes back into the pits.
Tim nicely picking, it's not Tim, sorry, Marley nicely picking up the throttle in the middle sector chicane. Let's see what his split is. 49.3, I think that's what I saw, as we're going into the long swooping right-hander. Let's see where he picks the apex. Just goes a bit wide. Let's see if he keep it. Yes, he does keep it in. And now this is where the tyres are going to be screaming quite a bit. Approaching nearly 100 degrees on the tyres. Let's see,
Lumi goes fastest in the Ferrari, and now Shabby goes fastest. So some guys are getting some times on the board. We've got 1:28.9 the fastest time at the moment.
As you can see, Marley now just approaching the start-finish line. Let's see what he gets. 29.2, so pretty comparable time to what he did in Division 3 earlier on. So I think he does have quite a bit of time left in the tank. Of course, he was pretty quick in the race earlier today, so I expect him to be up there as well.
I was going to ask you, speaking of Division 3, of course, you did race here in Division 3 today, and what kind of times were you looking at in qualifying?
So definitely in the 28s, maybe like mid to high 28s if you for a really competitive time. Sorry, but expect some low 29s, mid to high 28s if we get obviously a really tight pack.
So a lot of the guys here put in their first lap, but there's about a second or at least 5-6 tenths to be found by the end of the session, it looks like.
See Jensen on the medium tyres on his lap in the Williams. Let's see what he can do. The AlphaTauri gets away nicely for him. Oh, as he gets a bit of a slide on into the... not able to get the car rotated, and he's invalidated the lap time. Shame for him, but I'm sure Jensen will go out again. Obviously Jensen, one of the favourites in the league. So hopefully he had a bit of bad luck last time out in Bahrain, so let's see if he can get any redemption today. See Stephen in the Aston Martin just getting to the line right now. Let's see what time he can get.
And Harry also crosses the line in the Mercedes. His first lap was a 1:37, so not representative, and now he goes fastest with a 1:28.6.
Harry doing
so
a lot
both Mercedes drivers doing pretty well here today.
Yeah, exactly. Harry doing a lot of work for us behind the scenes in the URL esports side, so obviously showing his pace, and wow, yeah, 4 tenths ahead of everyone, so his practice is paying off right now. Let's see if anyone can match him tonight. So we have Flynn on a cool-off time lap actually, as Bobo has gone again with the soft tyres. He's just winding his way in the middle sector now. Sorry, last sector actually. Let's see how.
Tim in the Aston Martin currently about to start a flying lap, and he's running the medium tyres. So either he's not looking to waste a set of softs with his first lap, or he's not expecting to get to the top 10. And we'll see if he can get a good lap in on the mediums.
I mean, he literally just invalidated into turn 1, so shame for him. Yeah. So, well, Coyote taking a bit of a adventurous line in the middle chicane.
Yeah, it seems like some of the guys who haven't set a lap yet seem to be struggling with track limits here and haven't been able to put a representative lap in at all.
There's quite a few people in the box right now. Let's see if anyone else... Yeah, quite a lot of drivers have just finished their first run. So, I mean, the only car we technically pretty much do have on track is Tim. But, yeah, I mean, we've got Davey, Coyote, Lumi, and, I mean, I really don't know how to say his name. The Red Bull, all on the outlaps right now. And I believe all on the soft tyres. Let me get...
It'd be a little bit strange if that Red Bull does happen to be in a close fight in the race, because we're going to be mentioning him a lot, but we won't know how to say his name.
Exactly, yeah. We're just going to have to call him the Red Bull, mate.
I think Coyote is on a flying lap on the medium compound tyres, so yet to put a lap on the board. And he's just going down the main straight at the moment.
I think we're right on board with the Red Bull now as he starts his flying lap. Going into turn 1, let's see if he can pick a good braking point, roughly around 50 meters. Can he keep it within the lines on the exit? Yes, he does, pretty comfortably. as they're now going into turn 3, 4 and 5. Throws it in pretty nicely in 4th gear. Now can he get the rotation? Pretty tricky corner this, especially with the oversteer. Just about thinking, can you now wind the throttle? Oh, bit of oversteer. Not sure if that is the lag, but I think he was able to wind the throttle pretty decently there as he backed off, so I don't think he's too happy with that lap so far.
Yeah, and Coyote just backing off his lap as well, coming into the pits. He went a little wide in the last sector, so he's still not managed to get a lap on the board. As we've got the McLaren of Serpino just about to start a flying lap on the soft compound tyres, and we've got Jensen on a hot lap at the moment.
Let's see what Jensen can do in the Williams, obviously. Winding his way through turn 5 right now. Can he pick up the throttle early and keep it within the lines? Yes, he can. Now it's just taking the shortest line into the middle, the chicane on the middle of the straight. I think, yeah, just about hitting 200 miles an hour there, so maybe running a tad bit more downforce. Let's see what he can do. Can he throw it in and pick up the throttle early? Yes, he can, nice and early. So quite a lot of confidence and stability in that car there. Let's see what he can do at the split. 49.1, so a very good middle sector so far, as it's just a long wait until we get to the long swooping right-hander, which is a challenge at the apex. There's a little bit of a nasty bump there.
Understeer there, but he's managed to keep it on the track.
And now here's
just
where the tyres. Here's where the tyres are going to be crying. Yeah, he just kisses that apex. You really do not want to touch that apex, but let's see if he can keep the rest of the lap neat. Bit more oversteer. I think the rear's just locking there, but can he pick up the throttle early? Just about, yeah.
Run down to the line. Let's see what kind of lap he can put in. As you said, one of the favourites for the race today, and he's on the front row at the moment by just a tenth of a second. So took a while, but in the end, it's a very good lap from Jensen in the Williams.
Yeah, I think he's still got a bit more time there. I think the kissing the apex just a tiny bit just unsettled the car. Probably lost a tenth or two there. As Serpino goes second, very tight between him and Harry, as Polarius goes 8th in the AlphaTauri. Bobo
goes fastest, so there's been a real influx of really good times now, coming into the last 5 minutes of the session.
I think
we've still got 3 drivers who are yet to set a lap time, which is Davey, Coyote and Tim.
I definitely feel these cooler temperatures right now are definitely keeping the tyres in the window and just allowing them to push a bit harder in sector 3. So yeah, I think the track conditions are pretty good. I know it's a bit cloudy and miserable, but I think they are able to keep the tyres in check.
We've got Stephen in the Aston Martin just about to cross the line on his final. He's currently P5, and let's see if he can improve on that time. So he crosses the line now, and he goes fastest
28.4
with a 1:28.4. That's a very good lap from him.
So we're definitely seeing some very quick times here. I'm gonna say I think we're gonna get some times in the low 28.2s, 28.1s. I don't see why not. These guys are definitely.
The lap times are tumbling at the moment. Drivers are saying lap after lap in the low 1:28s.
As we have Harry right now in the Mercedes. I think he's got a bit of traffic up ahead. I think he just had to back out of this. Let's see who else. We have Flynn in the Alfa Romeo right now.
Running a bit wide, but I'm not sure if he's on an out lap or on a flying lap.
Yeah, no, he's not pushing right now.
Yeah.
Let's see who else is on a lap. We have, I think I'm going to say Danny in the McLaren. Let's see what
just
he can
about
do.
to cross the line now. And goes 6th fastest, so McLaren 4th and 6th at the moment.
Good showing from the pairing there. Let's see, Wickra not on a lap right now.
We have got Davey, he's coming back into the pit, so not quite sure what's happened there. And Coyote's crossing the line. Let's see if that was to complete a lap or to start one. And he finally gets a lap in, and it's good enough for P7. So a solid lap from Coyote in the Alpine.
Just a bit of a lull period right now as some of these drivers are waiting to get their final runs in. Let's see, I think Tim is still on the track trying to set a lap time. Can he keep it valid and post a competitive time? Let's see, as he's just going into the second sector split now. Not a good middle sector, so I'm not sure if he actually is pushing or he had a mistake earlier on in the lap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got one sector to go, so let's see. Is he backing off there or is he carrying on? I think he's just backed off there in
yeah, I
in
think
the
he's backed
final
off.
sector.
The car didn't seem that loaded into turn 11.
We have got Coyote, I think he's invalidated his lap or he's on an out lap, but he's on the track at the moment. Danny's on the track at the moment, and Sapino, but most of the guys are in the garage just getting ready, as you say, for their final lap of the session.
Yeah. Jensen now back out on the track. Bobo on his out lap right now. Expect to see Stephen and Harry coming out soon as well. Of course, we haven't even talked about strategy yet. So soft tyres do take quite a beating around this track, so I think it will be a good place to start if you're around P11, P12, because you'll get that free tyre choice and you can capitalise on if the soft tyre runners are struggling. But obviously no one's opted for those medium tyres because it's simply too slow in qualifying.
But Jerry actually in the AlphaTauri just about to start a lap, I think, on the medium compound tyres. But yeah, I was just going to say, it could be interesting for the race. We might have a few guys who are starting outside the top 10 and find themselves in the top 6 even by the end of the race because they've got the better strategy.
Yep. You see our current provisional pole sitter, Stephen, on a lap. Can he keep the car rotated? He's not actually, so I think he has backed off into that. Not happy with the time so far. He of course can go for another lap, so hopefully he's got enough fuel in the tank for that. Sapino just about keeping it in the lines nicely there in the McLaren as he's now on the long straight. Heading into turn 8 and 9. Let's see if he can pick a good braking point here. Yeah, cuts it nicely, doesn't invalidate. Oh, and he invalidates on turn. Lucky for him there.
We have got Bobo on a fast lap right now. He's just in the first sector, but he is of course well in contention for pole position here.
Let's see what he does as he gets into turn 8 and 9 now. Will he
slightly off on his first sector time, but not by much, by less than a tenth of a second, so still a bit of time to be gained. He did lose the rear a bit on the way to the straight, but DRS wide open and reaching almost 200 miles an hour before he gets the braking zone.
Jensen just 2 milliseconds down on his current best time. Let's see if he can find any more time in the last sector now. As he's going into turn 11 right now. Just gets the apex nicely there. Now this is where he lost a bit of time on the previous lap. Doesn't really touch the curve that much, which is what he wanted. And now let's see if he can just keep the power in and not lose the car too much here. Gets it nicely to the apex, and how hard can he mash the throttle? Pretty decent traction out there. I think this will be at least a tenth or two improvement. Let's see, yeah, a tenth and a bit improvement up to P4. The Jensen there. Everyone else on the lap. Let's see what Bobo's.
Yeah, Bobo's just about to cross the line now. It's been a decent lap from him so far, but can he improve? And no, he's just 18,000th of a second off his best lap, so looks like he might miss out on pole position here.
Pino in
and
the
can
McLaren.
Anyone beat the 128.4 from Stephen?
Let's see if he can keep it clean this time. Yes, he does. Can he get on the power early? Now let's see what his sector split is as he approaches the line just now. 37 milliseconds down, but he can still make a lot of time in the last sector if he keeps it clean.
And one of my big questions is, can Davey and Tim get a lap on the board before the end of this qualifying session? Davey is in the final sector on the Williams. His lap still stands as he's reaching the final corner now. Can he put a lap on the board, and what kind of lap time can he put in? As he runs up to the line now, as Steven puts in another fast lap, he's managed to improve. And Davey crosses the line to go 15th. He finally gets a lap on the board.
Just invalidates in the last corner there. Unlucky for him. Let's see Coyote and Alpine on a lap right now as he's just left turn 11. Can he get it?
And we've got Tim, the last guy to not set a time, running up to the line. What could he do with the Aston Martin? His teammate is on pole, and he manages to go P12, which isn't the worst position to be around here because he can start on the medium tyres.
I think the best person on one of the best places to qualify is P12, and Wicra has that position in the Red Bull. So as Coyote goes third with a 1:28.5, only 11 milliseconds off Bobo there, so a pretty good time for him in the Alpine. I don't think anyone else is on a lap. Yes, that is it for us at qualifying.
Now what a lap from Stephen, and well done to him to take pole position by just over a tenth from Bobo, and Coyote rounds out the top three with a 1:28.5. Very, very close to Bobo's time there, so some of these guys are looking pretty close in terms of pace, so might have quite an interesting race in our hands.
If you're wondering why,
of course we've got to keep our eyes out for Wicra and Tim, who are in 11th and 12th, and they'll be on one of the best they'll be in one of the best positions on the medium tyres.
Yeah, 100%. Tesla on the track, just so then he can actually race. He just needs to get out on track so he can race. He has had some internet issues tonight, sadly, so yeah, we'll ride on board with him until the timer does tick down. It'll be interesting to see if Tim can keep up with the pace, because I think in the Division 3 race he was struggling a tiny bit on the heavier fuel and long runs. But let's see if he can actually redeem himself this time round.
Yeah, it's a shame to see Tesla having some internet issues, because he of course won the first round and is leading the championship. But overtaking is not impossible around here, so yeah, hopefully we put an overtaking show for us in the race.
100%, and also a safety car isn't guaranteed. We actually did see just like an hour ago in the Division 3 race, we had no safety cars there, so if these drivers do keep it relatively clean, but someone does make a mistake, it's going to be hard for them to get back if they do not have the pace.
So Tesla is just about to cross the line now, and that should be it for qualifying.
I hope so. I really hope we do not have a lobby glitch here, because this is an issue that we can get at the game.
I mean, according to my feed here, Nikita Mazepin and Carlos Sainz have decided to join us for qualifying today, so not quite sure, but
okay, as we have managed to get through now, so as we can see here, we have Stephen, Bobo, Coyote, our top three, Harry, Jensen, Zapino rounding out that top six, with Marty, Danny, Shabby, Flynn rounding out that top 10. Wicra and Tim, both reserves, 11th and 12th, with the Red Bull, sorry I still can't say his name, 13th, Lumi, 14th, Polarius 15th, Davey 16th, Jerry 17th, and Tesla sadly 18th. Let's hope that he can get a good recovery drive there. But congratulations on Stephen for pole position, and let's see if he can keep that pace up in the race. The gap only a tenth and a half, and a tenth, the 1.6 tenths that covers the top three, so very tight top three there. So it'll be exciting to see who can keep up that long pace in the race.
yep, thanks for joining us for qualifying, and the race will be underway shortly.
Yeah, I think a few issues with the lobby right now. Let's see. Yes, we finally got the timer now, so that should be okay now.
I mean, it could happen, but let's just hope that these drivers stay close in the race. But there could be a little bit of a DRS train, and we could see some decisive moves for the lead being made actually towards the end of the race in the last few laps, as I think we saw last season.
Exactly, France is notorious for the DRS train, so it'll be interesting to see which drivers tend to just hold back for a few laps, save that ERS, and then when they feel comfortable, mount an overtake on the car ahead.
We also saw some guys really pushing their tyres to the limit on the strategy and actually coming up short on the last few laps, so tyre management will be extremely important here as well.
Exactly, the top 10 starting on the soft tyres. A one stop is kind of possible depending on your tyre wear, but it's very hard to pull off here, especially if you want to keep stay competitive. So I mean, expect the drivers 11th down to 18th to start on either mediums or hards and run that easy one stop. Actually, I'm not sure how what the top 10 will do here.
Yeah, I mean, if I was running outside the top 10, I'd probably be looking to avoid the soft compound tyres. As you mentioned to me earlier today, the soft tyre is not that great a race tyre around France.
Exactly. And just to confirm, we won't have a formation lap due to some of the lobby glitches, so we're going to go straight to the racing action. So yeah, it would be a bit of an odd experience, but yeah, sadly we can't, just for now, as we're getting the 5 red lights straight away. And new game, same glitch. Marley getting a jump start, sadly for him. Let's see as as Bobo gets an amazing start.
Amazing start. He's already in the lead, and there's the McLaren looking at the Aston Martin, and the Alpine goes round the outside and has to back off. So Stephen maintains second place, but what a start from Bobo.
As we have Harry spinning in the Mercedes, just got tagged, I think. Yes, as we have Shabby trying to go down the round the outside of Marley there, as we get a virtual safety car. So yeah, I wasn't even able to run
Not a good start for Harry there. He's now down to 18th and last after what looked like a spin on in the first few corners.
Yeah, just got tagged by a car behind, I believe, and yeah, with the way the physics are in this game, just an instant spin. So unlucky for him. Hopefully he can recover, but he is on the soft tyres, and it will start to degrade around lap 6 or 7.
Can I just say, what a start from Bobo though, as he took the lead straight into the first corner.
Yeah. Definitely just picked his traction perfectly and was able to just launch.
Some of the other guys who have made up some positions, Tesla from last has now moved up to 15th place, 14th place, sorry, I'm not quite sure. It looks like we're back racing again, so yeah, we're just looking at Tesla going side by side with Jerry for 14th place, and he manages to get ahead, very close to making contact with the rear wing of the AlphaTauri there.
As the McLaren of Danny got a slight little jump on Jensen there, but Jensen able to hold and now challenging his teammate actually, Sapinho, as Marley goes into the pit to serve his drive-through.
Serves his drive-through penalty, yes.
Yeah,
as Bobo sets the fastest lap, and has already got a 1 second gap on Stephen, so if Stephen wants to make up some ground, he's either saving his tyres or Bobo's just got a lot of pace right now.
Yep, as I don't believe this AWS pit stop strategy. No, these drivers will be aiming for that one stop. Maybe the soft tyre runners will have to do the 2 stop with both sets of mediums. Yeah, we'll see how the race pans out.
And Tim's up to a very good P9. Remember, he is on the medium compound tyres, and Lumi as well. They've made up a few positions off the start, so they're actually sitting very nicely at the moment, because they're going to put on a set of hard tyres probably and go to the end.
As the game continuing with its glitches, some drivers don't have helmets, and you also can't see some of the racing numbers, sadly, so apologies for that.
Just watching Jerry the AlphaTauri, I'm getting a brilliant look at his Nomex balaclava and his eyes and nose, which I'm pretty sure isn't supposed to be happening right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure the FIA will be too pleased to see a driver without a helmet, but yeah, it's one of those things in the game. Perks of the F1 game. As the gap up ahead gone down to around teetering on the 5 to 7 10th mark there. Stephen just about getting in. Coyote falling away from the leaders here.
He's under pressure from the McLaren behind him actually. There's a few cars pretty close together there. The 2 McLarens, Danny, there's Jensen as well. They're all sort of pretty close together there, and Shabby just behind them as well.
As Sapinho does try and get Sapinho trying to get the run into turn 1, going down the inside and easily getting by now. So I think it's a matter of time for Jensen to actually get on the back now. DRS has been activated, so expect those DRS trains now, sadly.
But Sapinho up into 3rd place, and it looks like he's pulling away a little bit from Coyote, so does he have the pace to challenge the top 2, or is he going to be stuck, have a pretty lonely race in 3rd at the moment? Coyote looks to be struggling a little bit at the moment. He seems to be holding up Jensen and Danny, but let's see if we can hold him off.
Let's see how much of the pack Jensen is using. He is deploying right now. Will he try and get an overtake into turn 8 and 9? Yes, he will. Closing in. Can you get it into the braking zone? It's going to have to be a braking zone overtake. Yes, he does. Goes deeper. Doesn't leave the space and gets the overtake done. Great overtake from Jensen there. Just close the door at the perfect time and managed to get the overtake done.
Look how close these guys are now. 4 cars separated by less than a second. We've got the McLaren of Danny all over the back of the Alpine of Coyote, and not quite enough space there to make the move, but as long as he can stay close now, he might have a chance into the last sector, but the McLaren's run wide and he's allowed Shabby and the Mercedes to go through as well, and now they're running side by side. So lots of close racing here as the Mercedes still tries to hold the outside line and just gets squeezed out by Danny there.
Yep, fair but good racing there between the two.
Like whoever makes a mistake here now is going to lose a position to the car behind because they're all just so close.
Exactly. Now Coyote definitely falling away. I think his tyres are he's just not able to keep the tyres in the window, and also I think he's just struggling on the wear. Not actually sure what his issue is, as the second McLaren now looking at him.
Jensen is now closed up to the back of Sapinho for the battle for third, so he's got some pace in that Williams now, as he's been let off a little bit by after getting past Coyote.
The leader still, the gap 7/10. I don't think Stephen's pushing too hard to try and overtake him. I think he's just finding that if him and Bobo can sort of work together, they can just pull away from the pack.
So Flynn in the Alfa Romeo picks up a 3-second penalty.
As Jensen right on the back of the McLaren right now.
Danny's got past Coyote. And now the Mercedes of Shabby's all over him, so Coyote really struggling as he's about to get passed by the Mercedes, so not sure if he's really struggling with tyres or he just hasn't quite got the race pace on heavy fuel at the moment.
Yeah, sadly for him, already dropped down to 7th now, and Flynn in the Alfa Romeo right on the back of, starting to get right on the back of him, joining the strain. As Jensen's still closing in on Sapinho up there, not able to get the overtake done just yet, as the gap up ahead, half a second and 2.5 seconds ahead of P3 so far.
We focus so much on the battle for third, as Stephen is in DRS range of Bobo actually, and is putting a bit of pressure on him for the fight for the lead.
Yeah. As our timing screens went a bit haywire there, but as you see, Jensen now overtaking Sapinho, the McLaren, into turn 1, gets it nicely done even before the braking zone, so good work for him. Can he pull away on the DRS, because Sapinho will have the chance again on the run into turn 8 and 9 with the DRS to try and overtake Jensen again. Jensen, I think his setup's working really well. He's able to rotate the car pretty nicely and wind the throttle pretty easily right now. So let's see if this McLaren
see how much pace he's got. Can he catch up to the top two, who are actually separated by 0.3 of a second at the moment?
Jensen able to nicely keep the gap before the braking zone. So now can he now try and think about pulling away on this second straight? It's really easy to get a tow if you're the car behind. Get a good run into turn 11, but I think Jensen may be able to get this covered, as the gap up ahead only 0.4 of a second. I think Stephen just eagerly getting really close to the back of Bobo, but I don't think he's trying to overtake just yet, but just trying to keep that pressure there, as Jensen has been able to get a 10th, able to catch a 10th up to Stephen there. So I'm not sure if it's just Stephen being held up a tiny bit, or is it Jensen having really good pace, but the McLaren is holding onto the DRS of Jensen now, and he will get that DRS again into turn 1. Will the McLaren try?
The Aston Martin, sorry to interrupt, I'm just watching the Aston Martin of Tim, and he's running in 7th at the moment, but he's all over the back of Flynn in the Alfa Romeo, and those medium tyres probably in a better window right now than the softs, as he tries to go around the outside into turn 1 and makes the move stick, and now he's up into 6th place. So I did say that he was one to watch, just as I say that he's got a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, I think
he might still be one to watch in the race.
I think he did get quite a few penalties in the Division 3 race earlier on, so
yeah, bit of a shame, because he's in a fantastic position at the moment, so let's just hope that that penalty doesn't ruin what could be a brilliant position.
Exactly, I mean, he's in a good position, first with the medium runners, so he definitely can pick his battles, but also start to capitalise when these soft tyre runners will start to struggle a bit more. Jensen still under
some of the
pressure.
gaps are starting to open a little bit. Jensen hasn't managed to drop the McLaren of Sapinho behind. Not sure if that's because of the McLaren's pace or just because of the slipstream and DRS, but the gap is staying around 2.3 seconds between Jensen and the top two.
Just looking at the dashboard of the McLaren of Sapinho, his tyres are dangerously running at the 100 degrees mark, which means that his tyres are starting to overheat a bit more than you would have liked. So definitely these drivers are struggling with high temperatures, which is a factor around this track. The tyres get punished around here, and it's all about if you can keep the tyres in the window.
my question to you is, how early do you think some of these guys, just as I say, how early are these guys going to come into the pits? Sapinho just comes into the pits. Looks like he's the first guy to change these soft compound tyres.
Definitely trying to get the undercut on Jensen, and can Jensen use whatever pace he has left on the soft tyres? He's definitely running low on the battery, so let's see if he can. I think he might. The undercut is pretty powerful around this track, especially because of how quickly the tyres do degrade, so but yeah, I think Sapinho might have pulled the blinder here, but let's see. I mean, these drivers will try different strategies, I feel, so we'll see what they do.
It's hard to tell right now which is the best strategy, because who knows what can happen in this race. You did say that safety cars are rare, but we already had a VSC on lap 1, so anything can happen. As I'm just watching Ural Tesla, our championship leader, and he's up to 11th right now after some of the guys ahead have pitted. And of course he is running on the medium tyres, so don't count him out for a good result just yet.
Yep, as Tim gets past Danny, and who's on the soft tyres right now, so those medium tyres starting to work now, and you need to be that first medium runner to capitalise on the soft ones, and he's definitely doing that, so definitely trying to get some redemption for from his race earlier on. As
Steven's actually taken the lead.
We've
been so engrossed by the battle for 3rd and 4th that we've completely missed that. I'm really sorry about that, but Steven has taken the lead from Bobo, and I wonder if Bobo then comes to the pits. Yes, he does. Bobo comes to the pits, probably trying to go for an undercut on Steven, and has that actually worked in his favour, getting past there? Let's see.
And Jensen staying out now. Maybe Jensen's trying to. He is pretty good at the one stops, Jensen. So let's see if he can manage to pull off a one stop here.
Like he's struggling too much on those tyres, no more than anyone else, so maybe he's trying to eke out this strategy, who knows, let's see. Of course Steven is yet to pit as well, so we've still got a few guys out on the soft tyres. We've got Flynn, Jensen and Steven, the only guys left on the softs, and everybody else is running on mediums. We've got Sapinho, Shabby and Danny all running hard tyres, as well as Bobo. So
Lumi
they look like they might be...
Sorry, yeah, Lumi literally pushing Flynn through the turn 7, sorry, turn 6 and 7, sorry. Yeah, and of course
Lumi started on those medium tyres. He started in P12, I believe, and the two guys who were running in P11 and 12 at the start are now running 3rd and 4th. And actually Lumi's not got a penalty, so he's actually in a fantastic position here, just behind Tim, and he's using his ERS to get close to him, as Davey gets a 3-second penalty.
So you see the Red Bull of Flynn and, the Red Bull, I'm not sure, as they're going through turn, as Flynn has to go off the track. So, yeah, those soft tyres definitely aren't working now. He's definitely struggling for tyre wear, and his tyres are starting to overheat. His outer temperatures are around 102 degrees, so he's definitely struggling now. Will he go into the box? He's still persevering on those soft tyres, opting to stay out as Jerry slips one down the inside in the last corner and overtakes Flynn there, so a very cheeky move there.
Looks like Flynn is really struggling on those softs. I'm not sure if it's about time he swapped those for set mediums. We might see him go to the pits at the end of this lap, but we've got the top two, Jensen and Steven, still going strong on those soft tyres, so I think it'll be a matter of who blinks first, as Jensen's actually lost a bit of time to Steven now. It's 3.9 seconds, whereas before it was around 2.3, so will it be the right decision to go long on the soft compound tyres? I guess we can't really tell until the end of this race.
Yep, and sadly for Harry, he's still down in P18. I mean, he has boxed some medium tyres now, so he's still going to have to pray for a safety car here, sadly for him. As no change of move there, but the Ferrari Lumi getting very close to the back of Tim there in the Aston Martin.
Board with our friend the Red Bull, I'm going to call him L30, and
he's got
a brilliant
yellow
view
flag in sector 1, and I think it's an Alpine. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it is the Alpine. I don't think he has a front wing anymore. No, he doesn't. It's a Coyote, I believe.
So he might have had an off, or did he make contact with someone? But he of course had a really poor first stint where he was really struggling for tyre temperature or pace, and now he's lost his front wing, so he's going from bad to worse as our race leader Steven comes into the pits under the virtual safety car.
VSC, so this is going to be perfect for Steven and Jensen here. They will get an advantage. The medium run is also up to go onto the thing, so I think they will try this hard tyres to the end, which I think is possible around here. So this virtual safety car has come out perfectly for these guys.
The entire top 8 comes into the pits. Tesla also comes into the pits as well.
But he gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Pushing a tiny bit hard. This pit lane entry area is a bit tough. I'm not sure if we are penalising drivers for cutting the pit lane entry, as Coyote, without that front wing, as he's retired in the pit, so he has pit and quit, which obviously we do not like to see. Yeah,
a few drivers have got penalties there. Look at that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers getting penalty. The top 2 getting penalties. But it looks like it's all to do with the pit lane as well as track limits. So everybody dived into the pits under the virtual safety car, but some of them must have rushed in because now they've picked up penalties.
Yep, drive through for speeding under the virtual safety car, so obviously not following the delta. The delta on this game is a bit funny. As soon as it says safety car, virtual safety car ending, your delta does jump quite a bit. So luckily as Jensen's overtaken Bobo into turn 8 and 9, so that is the net lead. Not net lead, but net P2. Apologies there. So
Jensen's really benefited from pitting under the VSC now. Unless Bobo could come back at him. Bobo is on the the hard tyres, sorry. So he might be looking to stretch us out to the end, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to do that. He might have to pit for mediums.
More importantly, all these drivers serving drive-throughs just gives Jensen and Steven the opportunity to get a free pit stop over these guys if their tyres do decide not to get. If the tyres can't get to the end. So pretty good for them in that sense, but Bobo is able to get to the end of the race on these hard tyres if you can manage them perfectly here.
Yeah, and just for the people watching, I will run through all the penalties because there are quite a few to keep track of. We've got Jerry, who's currently leading. Of course, he had to pit, has got a drive-through. Tim's got a 3-second penalty. Flint's got a 3-second penalty. Danny's got a 3-second penalty, and then we've got Sapino with a 3-second penalty. Tesla's got 8 seconds worth of penalties, and Davy's got 6 seconds worth. As we've got a lot of guys coming in to take their drive-through penalties, I believe we've got Lumi in the pits, L30, Shabby, and Sapino all in the pits.
Yep, a lot of drivers will drive-throughs here. I've never seen that many drive-throughs in a race, but yeah, that's what happens when you don't stick to the delta.
Yeah, a bit of chaos there under the VSC. I think some of those guys were so close to the pits when they saw it, they just dived straight in and forgot to think about sticking to the delta. As
Jensen still under pressure from Bobo here, not able to pull away as I thought he would be able to. I'm not sure if he's just trying to manage his mediums now and trying to push the end. Jensen is pretty good with getting tyres to last, so we'll see what how the strategy plays out here.
Be a brilliant strategy if you can manage to pull off a one stop, but I think the guys on the hard tyres might be trying to do that. We've got Bobo far behind. Do you think somebody like Bobo who's running on the hard tyres will be able to make it to the end, or do you think he'll probably have to come to the pits once more?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I did practice earlier and I was able to do like 20-22 laps on the hard tyres comfortably, so I don't see why not. As long as he manages those, and if he does run ABS off, if he manages those lockups and just make sure that he doesn't damage the front tyres, obviously those are the ones that tend to take up quite a beating around here.
So actually we have got Steven in the lead and Jensen in second, but unless they can pull off a miracle and take the mediums to the end, they're probably going to have to stop again, which means that Bobo's actually in a great position here. If he can stay in a reasonable gap to Jensen and Steven, Steven's 4 seconds ahead of Jensen at the moment, so he is leading quite comfortably.
Steven definitely taking back control of this race that he lost at the start there, so let's see. I think Jensen is slightly just catching up to Steven there. I'm not 100% sure, but Jensen is also running a bit low on the battery.
All over the back of Jensen there, so
Jensen
he might be looking to make the move.
He is definitely clipping on the straights. You can see his red light flashing there, so this is just going to entice Bobo to try and overtake. Bobo around 40% ERS there, so definitely a battery advantage there for Bobo.
Yeah, Jensen's only on 8%, so he's going to have to recharge as much as he can. Especially if he wants to, he might be trying to save as much as he can just to deploy it on the straight to defend from Bobo, but Bobo's looking very close. Even though he is on the hard tyres, which are in theory a little bit slower, looks like he's managed to get them into a good window as we're coming through towards the final corner now, and he will have DRS, so can he make the move this early on?
I have found on this game, especially around France, the hard tires do tend to work really nicely. They do tend to grip up really nicely. And I don't know if you guys know, but they have the word called tack, which is the feel of the grip from the rubber. And with the new tire models this game, the hard tires do tend to feel pretty well, pretty nice on around France here. So I think Bobo is just able to keep pushing on those hard tires and keep them in a comfortable window here.
I'm still riding on board with Boba at the moment as we reach the back straight. He'll have DRS once again, and can he really? He's deploying that ERS, and he's open DRS now, and he's really closing in on Jensen. Looks like he's close enough to make a move. Goes down the inside, and actually that move looks pretty simple in the end for Bobo as he goes back up into second place.
Maybe
and now
Jensen...
it looks like he's going to try and chip away at the gap to Steven and try and regain the lead that he lost just before the pit stops.
Maybe Jensen can play this strategic, just stick behind Bobo for now, let him recharge his battery, and also just stay in that DRS and try and use Bobo to pull him along. Let's see if he is able to do that, because that would work wonders for Jensen here, especially because he needs to recharge his battery now. As of course, I'd like to thank you guys for joining us tonight, this halfway stage of the race. It's nice to be back again for season 3, so, but yeah.
And we've got lots of new drivers here, and we've got some brilliant close racing, so long may it continue for the rest of the season. And looks like we're going to have a very mixed up championship here. And I know it's not Tesla's fault, but he is in 8th place at the moment with a penalty, so championship leader will most likely change after this race. And there'll probably be a few races. I know last season we had Black Box coming through to take the championship lead. I'm just watching Sapinho. He's just spun off in the McLaren, and he just sort of lost the car by himself there. He was on his own and he just sort of spun. So he's down in 16th place now, and he's really not having a good time.
A lot of drivers have had their race down the drain. Especially because of the drive-twos and whatever, which is obviously we don't want to see that, but it's whichever drivers could keep their focus and also keep make no mistakes. And obviously we can see that here, this halfway stage, the drivers that are not making mistakes, able to keep the pace.
It's just
and also
gotten
just
worse
battle.
for Sapinho as he comes into the pits and he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So we're going to see a lot of frustrated drivers after this, but as you say, those penalties and those regulations are there for a reason, and it is unfortunate that they have had to have their races ruined by penalties, but maybe they'll look out in a similar situation in the future and learn from it and try to keep it clean.
Exactly, as the gap to Steven not really changes. Steven able to manage the pace out there in the lead, which is exactly what you want to do when you're leading the race, just managing that pace. So good work from him so far. I don't think he's. Yeah, you can go through the traffic, which is okay. So definitely hitting some traffic right now. So some drivers getting lapped, which is strange to see in a 50% race, especially in a league race. But yeah, some drivers get into that situation on their own accord.
I was just saying before I saw the McLaren spin, it was last season we saw Black Box assert himself as the front-running driver pretty early on in the season, and he sort of ran away with it. But let's see if this year we can have a very close championship battle, if we can have drivers turning up week in and week out where they can, where possible, so we can really see a close championship battle this season.
As Bobo getting a helping hand from the getting that DRS from the lap car there, so just able to pull away a tiny bit from Jensen there, but yeah, nothing too dramatic right now at the lead. As we can see, also like Danny right behind Flynn right now. Danny on those hard tyres, probably going to the end. Flynn, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get those medium tyres to the end. He was struggling a lot on the soft tyres. So as we have a yellow flag in sector 2, as it's Shabby in the Mercedes, who I believe has crashed. Yes, he has.
Looks like he's out of the race as well.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the worst position, actually. He was on hard tyres.
So safety car in, Jensen has boxed, which is the right call here. I think he might I think might go to another set of medium tyres. Steven has opted to stay out, so
I'm not sure if he opted to stay out or if he was already past the pit lane entry when the safety car was deployed, but if that is the case, that's very unfortunate for him because he might lose out by not pitting here, as Jensen is changing to the medium tyres and Spino is disqualified from this session, so a bit of a messy session for him. Flynn pitting for the soft compound tyres, which is quite interesting. And we've got a lot of guys coming into the pits either for the mediums or for the hards. And actually Tim, who did around 15 laps on the medium tyres, has now come in for a set of softs. So interesting thinking, but I'm not sure if they can go to the end on those softs.
I think that is a mistake on their side. I'm not sure the softs will do maybe 7-8 laps, maybe at a push, but just like I say, it's nice to see. A
few laps under the safety car will preserve their tyres long enough for them to go to the end. Let's see. But anything can happen, and anything has happened here today. We've seen a safety car, virtual safety car, so I wouldn't put it past some of these guys making it to the end of this soft. It's been quite an unpredictable race here.
Yeah, and for the first time, I think, in Euro, we're seeing the Aston Martin safety car. Actually, not the first time, actually, but the first time I'm actually seeing the Aston Martin safety car. So,
it does look good, I have to say.
Yeah, very nice.
Of Aston Martin, Steven is still leading, but I'm not sure if he's going to come into the pits now. I'm not sure if it makes sense for him to pit now because he will lose some positions, but if he doesn't pit now, then I'm not sure if we'll be able to stretch these mediums to the end.
Yeah, Jensen in a perfect position, fresh medium tyres, and he's just able to now push from here. He won't have any tyre concerns, so pretty good strategy for him.
I'm still not counting Lumi out for a good result in the Ferrari. Of course, he's pitted for a set of medium compound tyres.
As Bobo's come into the box, so he's going to be at the back of the train, but he has come into the box. Will he try medium tyres or will he try soft tyres? Let's see.
But Steven has still decided not to come into the pits. Now let's see what tyres. He's going onto the medium tyres, it looks like. So interesting from Bobo, because I think he could have got to the end, but maybe he was just worried about guys on fresh tyres having more pace in the closing stages. But he is now going to be down in 11th place. He's got some work to do if he wants to get back up onto the podium.
Exactly, let's see if he can put a charge on. This track is pretty hard to overtake. Let's see if he does have a slippery car on the straights. As the lap car of Wickra and also Harry, sadly. Harry, shame that he got lapped. He's been lapped now, and sadly with the game you can't unlap yourself, so he is going to be in that painful position now. I think we could see the safety car in this lap, as Davey, I believe, is not too far back off the line, the pack. Sorry, so expect to see the safety car coming in at the end of this lap.
He's just a couple hundred meters behind the rest of the pack now, so
yeah. So definitely
expect. Weaving under the safety car, ready to go. Everyone's sort of in a similar position. You could see Flynn being in a good position actually, because he's on the soft tyres. He might have a better restart. But let's see.
Confirmation from race control. Safety car in this lap. The lights off. The lights at the top of the safety car are now off. So expect to get back to racing.
Be interested to see how quickly Jensen can get up to the back of Steven and potentially overtake him, because of course he is on those fresh medium tyres, and no matter how good the pace of Steven has been this race, you can't argue against fresh tyres.
Exactly, but also Flynn on the soft tyres, short. You could have a short amount of good pace. Sorry, couldn't even speak words there. Sorry, but on the soft tyres. But it will be interesting to see, because he was struggling on the soft tyres earlier on in the race. As we'll see when.
See, as Steven becomes the safety car as he
and
comes
I think he has now pinned it, so he has decided to go now. Jensen not able to get past that Red Bull just yet. He's not allowed to overtake till the safety car line.
A brilliant safety car restart from Steven though, because he's now 1.3 seconds ahead of Jensen, so he's timed that to perfection. And Flynn is pretty close behind Jensen, so
Jensen going a bit wide there. Has he got? No, he hasn't got a penalty yet, but a few drivers picking up penalties. Obviously, the safety car has destroyed a bit of their rhythm around this track, so they need to get back into the
Jensen losing the rear a bit there, and Flynn's getting pretty close. He's not going to have DRS yet, but he has got a lot of DRS to burn. So as it all saved up under the safety
Jensen
car.
deploying the pack, he desperately wants to stay ahead. I'm not sure if it's worth burning a lot of your pack to stay ahead of the soft tyre runner, but let's see. I know Jensen does have way more pace here, so let's see if he can capitalise, especially on his fresh tyres.
Yeah, it's a gap from Jensen to Steven now 1.4 seconds, and Flynn still pushing Jensen, but not sure how long he can keep this pace on for behind the soft tyres, on the soft tyres, sorry. But he's going to give it a good go to finish second here. He has got a penalty. But
Flynn already struggling he's already struggling with tyre temperatures. His tyres touching 103 degrees as he's not even finished the last sector yet. So he's definitely needing to manage those tyre temperatures, which is pretty hard to do, especially when you're following a car. Jensen gap now is second to Steven, so obviously Jensen now getting the hammer down and trying to catch up to the back of Steven here. As Steven does, as Jensen sets a faster lap time, as Danny as well, and the medium tyres sets a faster lap there. So Flynn and Tim on the soft tyres not able to set fastest laps here.
And Tim's getting close to Danny in fourth, so be interested to see how long they can keep this pace up for. Like I say, they've got brilliant pace now, but there are still 6 laps to go as Jerry picks up a 3-second penalty, and he's currently running in 13th place. And Bobo, actually, we almost forgot about Bobo, who was running in second. He's all over the back of Marley in 10th, so he's already making a bit of progress here. There are a few cars quite close together that you might be able to pick off in the next few laps, but still find it difficult to see how he can make it back up to first or second at this rate. But of course, never say never. There's loads of cars in a bit of a train here, and Bobo will have the pace advantage over all of them.
Exactly, let's see if there's any battles as Bobo.
And Marley's tried to hold it for as long as he can, but doesn't have the space, it doesn't have the grip as Bobo moves up into the top 10 and now sets his sight on the the battling cars of Tesla.
Just not getting the braking zone perfectly and just hitting the inside side pod of Bobo there, but I think Bobo comfortably has that position now.
Yeah, now Bobo's all over the back of Tesla, and will have DRS, just as DRS is enabled, so he might not get it yet, but he might get it for the next straight, as Tesla himself is trying to close down on the Red Bull of L30. As Jensen and Flynn both pick up penalties there, so Jensen's got a penalty, which is not what he wanted, because he is now less than a second behind Steven, so he's managed to close the gap by around 7/10, but even if he does get past, he's going to have to pull out a 3-second lead.
Crucially, Jensen's had to use a lot of his pack to get to the back of Steven here. He's still deploying now. I think he's around 20-30% there, so
they're about even on DRS, but in 7 laps, maybe he'll be able to pull out a 3-second gap, but that's of course if he can get past Steven.
As Danny is thinking of a move on Flynn. Flynn obviously now starting to struggle a bit on the soft tyres, which was inevitable. But Tim also on the back of this little mini train here of 3 cars.
So he is on the softs, but he's still got enough pace to close up to Danny. But Flynn, yeah, he's dropped back a bit from Jensen, and now he's under pressure from the cars behind. Now we've got Bobo, who's got ahead of L30 in the Red Bull, and Tesla managed to get through as well, so now Tesla's up to 8, as actually Bobo runs wide and has to switch back on Bobo on the Red Bull and gets pushed a little bit wide. The Red Bull is lagging a little bit, so that's probably unsettling Bobo in the Alfa Romeo there, but he was ahead for a brief moment and then just ran wide, lost the position.
As
on
up
the
ahead.
main straight, he's so close, he's going to have DRS, and he's going to be using his battery pack as well, but there's a bit of a DRS train now for the battle for 7th, 8th and 9th.
I think the pit board at Williams is on the wrong lap. I just glanced at their pit board and it said lap 24. I think they got their laps wrong here. It's lap 21.
Yeah, many little glitches we've experienced here with the game. For example, the fact that Steven's been leading this race pretty much from start to finish from the first pit stops, and he's managed to do all of that without wearing a helmet. So yeah, Very interesting.
Maybe the not wearing a helmet saves a few grams, crucial grams in the race for his car. Let's see as Jensen spun it. I think he's been hit from the car behind. Let's see.
And now he's lost all that ground. He's in 5th. He's going to get passed by Lumi as well, and his tyres are hot, so he's sliding around, struggling to get traction. And he's lost all those positions in the matter of a corner. And now he's down to 8th place. Not quite sure what happened there, whether he spun or whether he made contact with another car.
I think he definitely was hit from behind, because he definitely got into the braking zone pretty well there.
Did he make contact with Steven? Because Steven's now down a second behind Flynn in 2nd place, and Flynn's taken the lead. So
I think Jensen may have got a bit of a hit behind, which obviously caused him to hit Steven. I'm not sure. Flynn into the pits. I think Flynn definitely was the guy that caused the issue, and he's
got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
He has now retired in the race, pit and quit. So obviously, definitely not what we'd like to see. So
and that's a big shame. Because now we've seen Jensen come
and Jensen also retired. I think he's had enough of this, because at the end of the day, I don't think it was his fault. But yeah, sad to see him retire, and he's left the
Interesting
session.
to see what the drivers will say after the race, but a big shame to see Jensen retiring from the race. He had plenty of pace, and he was actually closing in on Steven before the incident. So
let's see if Steven has any floor damage or diffuser damage, because obviously if he did get a hit at the back, that is a possibility. Let's see if his straight line speed is struggling on this straight.
Bobo's picked up a 3-second penalty, so that's not good for him, but he's up to 8th place. And Danny's looking to get past Steven. I know he's got a penalty, but he's just backed off a bit there, so not looking to get past on this occasion. And we've got the Aston Martin of Tim still on the soft tyres and still doing a good job to stay behind Danny, because he's now in 3rd place. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long he can keep up the pace for, but he looks to be okay on those soft tyres. We've got an Aston Martin running 1st and 3rd at the moment.
Exactly, good showing from the Aston Martin pair there. Tim just about recovering. Let's see if we can keep those soft tyres
getting really close to Danny, so if he can make the most of the grip from his tyres now, he might be able to get past, perhaps on the back straight, as he gets a little bit shaky on the exit of that corner when he hits the curb. Pretty much most of except for Steven, Harry and Wikra, every single driver has some form of penalty, so I'm not sure if I've ever seen this many penalties. But of course Steven has been on those tyres for a hell of a long time. He's been on those tyres for 13 laps, so as long as he can keep it on the road and stay in the lead, and he don't dramatically fall off a cliff, he should be okay.
Davey
picks up a 3-second penalty.
Yeah. Davey having a bit of issue. I think he spun it in the end of sector 1 there. Obviously P11 and out of the point, so not going to make too much of a difference to his race.
Got a bit of a battle between Marley and Jerry, and of course we've got a bit of a train involving Bobo, Polarius and Tesla. And Tesla's up to 5th place now, so he's made up a few positions and he's doing alright after starting last, and he has not too far away from the Ferrari of Lumi. And Bobo is still stuck behind the 2 cars ahead. He's running in 7th, but he's very close to the AlphaTauri ahead of him. He gets another 3-second penalty, so I'm not sure what's going on there, if he's struggling.
As it turns out, I think it was Jensen that was actually trying to make a move on the Aston Martin there, which caused a little commotion there. So sad to see that, and I think maybe Flynn got caught up in that incident there.
Yeah, it was a shame to see such a close battle for the lead, as Bobo almost makes contact with the AlphaTauri of Polarius going into the braking zone. Doesn't want to lose any front wings this late in the race.
In there, and also wind the throttle pretty easily, so I think the amount of time, and I think he is right on the back of the AlphaTauri right now, deploying. He's only got about 9% ERS there, so can he get the move down?
He has, the AlphaTauri's got the advantage of DRS as well, but he has to look down the inside, Bobo, but it's not quite got enough space.
Can he get a good exit and good run through here? As the AlphaTauri has actually lost traction, so at the end of the day, easy
Bobo,
move. But then also the Red Bull behind him.
Well. And actually, the Red Bull's going side by side with Bobo going through this corner. We might have to back out if he can't get ahead, but Bobo's holding the inside line very close, and they almost touch wheels.
Bobo having to just
still
cut
going
the
side by
inside
side, and the Red Bull pushes his way past, makes a bit of contact, and now Bobo's got the inside line and will look to keep that 6th place. They're still going side by side going into the last few corners. Oh, a bit of contact there as well. No one wants to pick up damage this late, and actually Bobo's been unsettled there and almost has a half spin. Very close racing between the Red Bull and the Alfa Romeo. Perhaps a little close for comfort. They did make contact on a few occasions running through the last sector there.
As we have the Haas and AlphaTauri as Marley spun it. Unlucky for him, he was going side by side with Jerry then. He's just spun it. I think that's a little thing as he's also retired on track.
Few errors starting to creep in, and it's painfully close to the end of the race for some of these guys, and they might just want to keep it on the track to pick up some points. And Stephen is still leading from Danny, so he's running out of battery, but
I think Danny is just letting Stephen use his ERS a bit more, and then I think Danny would swoop in maybe on the last lap or second lap.
Danny's saving his ERS, he's on 40%, Stephen's pretty much used it all, and Danny has to think about this though, because he has to remember he's got to take the Aston Martin and then pull out enough of a gap for him to win the race.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Penalties are applied.
Totally forgot about his penalties there, yeah.
He can't afford to sit back for too long here with only 3 laps to go of this race.
Yeah,
and
I think
Tim, the only guy still on the soft compound tyres, still doing a decent job in 3rd there, so as long he's probably looking to conserve what's left of those tyres and try and finish on the podium. And I'm watching Bobo getting very close to Lumi, still on his charge up the grid.
Let's see if the McLaren can try. Not yet. Maybe he's going to have to try it on the long straight. The overtake is critical if he wants to win this race. Can he get a good run as they go through the little swoopy section in Sector 1?
You can just see how much more grip he has as he gets so close through the braking zone.
He's just able to rotate the car nicely. Can he wind the throttle now?
Going very slowly on the exit there, trying not to get out of shape, but now with DRS and he's using his battery, looks like this is a done deal here. As he opens up DRS, pulls to the left, and it's going to be a pretty simple move, but now it's up to Danny to pull out a 3-second gap if he wants to win this race.
Exactly, now it's all up to him. Can he pull out that 3-second gap? Will he take more risk and probably risk getting another penalty? Let's see, the gap already 4 tenths, 5 tenths. Danny definitely using his ERS, the ERS that he has, the ERS advantage he has over.
Bobo picks up another penalty, and he's fighting hard with L30 and the Red Bull. These two are fighting hand over fist for that 6th place.
Tim still hanging on there on the soft tyres. Tesla right behind him. Can Tesla overtake the Aston Martin? He's right on the tail of Tim right now.
Looks like Tim's starting to fall off now on those soft tyres. He was doing alright until now, but there's only so far those tyres can go, and now Tesla on the mediums all over the back of the Aston Martin. And could this be a brilliant recovery? Last to podium for Tesla. I don't want to speak too soon.
Very squirrely in the last corner. Tesla on the outside. Can he get a good overspeed and try and overtake into turn 1 around the outside?
And he's made the move, and he should be ahead going into turn 1. Yes, he is. So Tesla now
only
up to
3
3rd
seconds
place
worth
from
of penalties
18th
as
on
well.
the grid.
So if he can keep this, he'll get a comfortable P3 here. Especially
Lumi gets past Tim as well, so Tim's race starting to fall apart here as his soft tyres have nothing else left to give. So the Ferrari of Lumi ahead and the Red Bull behind Tim is getting very close as well.
The gap up ahead only is 1.2 seconds. Danny really needs to find another 1.7 seconds in the last two remaining sectors to try and win this race. It'd be a good effort.
It's going to come down to the wire here, and it has to be said, both of these drivers have done very well. Stephen, you have to say, has done a brilliant job managing this race, and even though he only made 1 stop, he's still looking to win this race.
Danny's definitely going to have to deploy scenario 7 if he wants to win this race.
Bit of a shame for Bobo because he's lost a bit of time to the cars ahead. And he's actually losing a position to Jerry now, and oh sorry, Polarius, so now he's down to 8th place. So not quite sure what happened towards the end there for Bobo, but he was looking in a good position to fight for the win until the virtual safety car.
As your leader on track, Danny, approaching the start-finish line, winner on
Crosses the
track
line to win,
but Stephen
has won the race. So fantastic job from Stephen. He didn't make it easy for himself, not pitting under the virtual safety car, but in the end it turned out to be the right thing. So congratulations to Stephen for winning a race. He kept a cool head throughout, and in the end he was the best driver out on track.
Exactly, didn't get any penalties there and just kept it clean. Good work from him, but also great work from Danny there, trying to getting P2 for McLaren there. I think he was just struggling a bit maybe at the start of the race, but he's able to recover and also be there to capitalise on people's mistakes.
And well, thank you very much for joining us for what has been a very, very unpredictable race and a bit of a chaotic race. And I've got to ask you, Nikhil, who is your driver of the day?
I think it's going to have to be Tesla, mate. From the back of the grid and gets P3. I know he got a 3-second time penalty, but still great effort from him.
Effort from Tesla and a great drive. I have to say that it is very close between Stephen and Tesla because despite all of the chaos, he managed to keep a cool head and win the race. But yeah, shout out to Tesla. He's managed to have a good damage limitation race, starting from last and gets up to 3rd.
So yeah, great work there from the Alpine. I mean, well, technically Ferrari driver, he's had to pick the Alpine due to reserves taking a seat. But yeah, great work there from these guys. I'll run you through the order again. We have Stephen, Danny, Tesla, the top 3, Lumi, L30, Polarius, Bobo, Tim, Jerry, Harry take that top 10. Harry having a really bad race, but managed to get at least 1 point due to people retiring. Wickra, the last car to, Wickra and Marley, the last 2 cars to get classified in the race. And then obviously our retirements were Davey, Jensen, Flynn, Shabby, Coyote, and obviously Sapinho. So a shame to see a few drivers retire there, but a good day in the office there for Stephen in the Aston Martin. Yeah, I think that's it for us tonight.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you in a week's time for the Austrian race. And well, I hope you enjoyed. I've always said in the past that France has always been quite a boring race, but I think we've proved the opposite here. And looking forward to seeing you guys in a week's time.
Yeah, exactly. Take care, guys, and we'll catch you guys soon.